Welcome to BooTube Tales. Here are chilling karma horror stories, where bullies get supernatural payback in the most terrifying ways.
The Last Laugh. Have you ever wondered what karma really looks like? Let me tell you a story that'll make you think twice about finding humor in other people's pain. There was this guy, let's call him Marcus, who had quite the reputation online. His social media feeds were filled with videos that made his followers laugh but made others cry. You see, Marcus was what you'd call a digital bully. He'd find vulnerable people, provoke them until they broke down, and then capture their tears for his growing audience. Each sob, each plea to stop became another clip in his collection of cruelty. His signature move? He'd always end his videos with a mocking smile for the camera. It became his catchphrase, his brand, and people ate it up. The likes, shares, and comments fueled his ego, pushing him to find more targets, to make more people cry. But here's where things get interesting. One cold autumn evening, Marcus was out filming, probably hunting for his next viral victim. The sky was that deep purple color that comes just before true darkness, and the streets were unusually empty. That's when everything changed. Someone, or something, decided it was time for Marcus to star in his own video. His phone started recording on its own, capturing his confusion turning to panic. Whatever he saw that night, whatever chased him through those empty streets, we'll never know. But we do have the footage. The video that went viral showed Marcus running, genuinely terrified, from something the camera couldn't quite capture. The footage was distorted, glitchy, like reality itself was breaking down around him. And then there was that voice, a whisper that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Smile for the replay. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The bully who collected tears was now the one whose fear was being shared across the internet. His own followers, the same ones who had cheered on his cruelty, now shared his terror with the same ruthless enthusiasm. They found his phone in a ditch the next morning, still recording, still catching static and shadows. But Marcus? Well, let's just say he doesn't make videos anymore. Some say he's still out there, jumping at shadows, flinching at the sound of cameras clicking. You know what they say about karma, it might take its time, but it always keeps receipts. And sometimes, just sometimes, it makes sure the last laugh echoes in ways we never expect. So next time you're tempted to find joy in someone else's pain, remember Marcus's story, because you never know when you might end up being the punchline in someone else's dark joke. Smile for the camera, won't you? Story 2, The Seat That Remembers. They say karma catches up to everyone eventually, but sometimes karma has a helping hand. I want to tell you about something that happened at Jefferson High back in 2019. It's the kind of story that makes you question what you believe about justice, revenge, and things we can't explain. There was this student, Marcus Thompson, the kind of guy who made life miserable for anyone he deemed different. His favorite target was Sarah Chen, a sophomore who used a wheelchair due to a childhood accident. Every lunch period was like running a gauntlet for her. Marcus had this routine. He'd wait until Sarah was carrying her lunch tray, then stick his foot out just enough to catch her chair. The cafeteria staff warned him. Teachers threatened detention, but nothing changed. Until that Wednesday in October. The day started like any other. The cafeteria was buzzing with its usual chaos of conversation and clattering trays. Sarah was making her way through the lunch line, and Marcus was there, wearing that familiar smirk. But something was different this time. Just as Marcus moved to trip Sarah's chair, his foot seemed to catch on nothing. Witnesses said it was like watching someone yank his legs out from under him. His head hit the floor with a sound that made the whole cafeteria go silent. When Marcus woke up in the hospital 3 days later, the doctors were baffled. The CT scan showed no brain damage, no spinal injury, nothing that could explain why he couldn't move his legs. They ran test after test, but medically everything was perfect. Except Marcus couldn't walk. But here's the part that still gives me chills. When they brought in the wheelchair for him, the nurses noticed something strange. Deep scratches on the armrests like someone had been desperately clawing their way out. Fresh scratches that appeared overnight. Some say it was justice, others call it coincidence. But the students at Jefferson High whisper about something else. About how Sarah's old wheelchair, the one she used before getting an upgrade that summer, had disappeared from the school's storage room the day before Marcus's accident. They say if you listen carefully in the school hallways late at night, you can sometimes hear the soft squeak of wheelchair wheels. And if you're not careful about how you treat others, you might find yourself taking a seat in a chair that remembers. Marcus graduated last year. He can walk now, though nobody knows exactly when or how he recovered. But one thing's for certain, he never bothered anyone again. And whenever he passes someone in a wheelchair, he gives them a wide berth, his face pale as if remembering something he'd rather forget. Sometimes karma doesn't just catch up to you. It makes sure you understand exactly how it feels to be in someone else's shoes, or in this case, someone else's chair. Sort to recure the shadow that follows. Everyone has a shadow, right? That's what Sarah used to think. A simple, faithful companion that follows you around, mimicking your every move. But Sarah learned the hard way that some things we take for granted can turn against us. You see, Sarah had always been the queen bee of her high school, wielding gossip like a weapon. She'd whisper stories in the cafeteria, spread rumors through text messages, and watch with satisfaction as reputations crumbled. It's just harmless fun, she'd tell herself, even as she watched Jessica transfer schools after the rumors about her family, or when Michael stopped coming to class after what she said about him. But then one morning something was different. Sarah woke up and stretched, expecting to see her shadow dance across her bedroom wall. Except it wasn't there. At first she laughed it off. Must be the lighting, right? But as she walked to school, even under the brightest sun, no shadow followed her footsteps. That's when the whispers started. Not from her this time, but about her. Students in the hallway would suddenly stop talking when she passed. Some looked at her with fear, others with pity. It wasn't until her best friend showed her the security footage that Sarah understood why. There it was, her shadow. But it wasn't attached to her anymore. The footage showed it slinking through the halls, creeping behind the very people she'd hurt with her rumors. It would lean in close, whispering something in their ears, making them shudder and look around in terror. Whatever it was saying, Sarah knew it wasn't good. She started sleeping with the lights on, but that didn't help. More footage emerged. From shops, street cameras, even people's phones. Her shadow was everywhere, telling secrets, spreading stories about her. The truth about every lie she'd ever told, every person she'd ever hurt, was coming back to haunt her. Last night, Sarah's mom showed her the most terrifying clip yet. Their home security camera had captured something at 3 a.m., her shadow standing over her sleeping body, holding what looked like a knife. Sarah hasn't slept since. Now she sits in her room, surrounded by bright lights, wondering when her past will finally catch up with her. Because sometimes the darkest shadows aren't cast by light, they're cast by the things we've done. And Sarah's shadow? It's still out there, somewhere, waiting to whisper one last secret. Remember, the next time you're about to spread a rumor or tell a lie, your shadow is always watching. And maybe, just maybe, it's taking notes. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.